that feeling,
Like,
right? When, like, a friendship, a connection that you valued, kind of starts to feel different.
yeah.
Maybe conversations don't flow as easily, or,
Right.
maybe you're just on different paths now, or the energy is just off.
Absolute.
It happens to everyone, really.
Yeah,
And it can be tough, to process.
it really can.
Actually, one of our listeners wrote in about this recently, shared some really insightful stuff about how friendships change, how they sometimes, well, end.
Yeah, that is a universal experience, wouldn't you say? And it's a huge source of pain for people.
Yeah.
We invest so much in our friendships, right? Our time, our emotions, all that.
Right.
So when things change, it feels like a real loss.
Yeah.
And it's natural to want to understand why.
Right, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. Our listener sent us this blog post by Lunar Eyes, who's going through something similar.
Good.
And what's so interesting is that Lunar Eyes uses Mel Robbins' let them theory, you know, and Eckhart Tolle's teachings to try and make sense of it all.
Two really powerful frameworks to draw on.
Absolutely. So our goal is to help you understand why these shifts happen in friendships
Yeah,
and how to deal with them. Maybe with a bit more peace and a lot less heartache.
absolutely.
And then, how to build healthier connections in the future
Right.
without, getting bogged down by all the complications of relationships.
Exactly.
So Lunar Ice kicks things off with this quote from Eckhart Tolle, right? It's, whatever you fight, you strengthen, and what you resist persists. Now, this isn't just about accepting any change that comes your way. Right?
It's much deeper than that.
Yeah.
Tolle is saying that our resistance often comes from clinging too tightly to things that are by nature impermanent. And that includes our friendships.
So, like, wanting a friendship to stay the same, even when it's clearly evolving.
Exactly. When we cling to an idea of how things should be, that's when the suffering starts.
Yeah.
Reality has a way of, doing its own thing.
That's a good point. It's like Lunar Eyes says, people come into our lives for different lengths of time and for different reasons.
Right.
Sometimes for minutes, sometimes for years.
That really changes how you think about past connections, doesn't it?
It does. Like, we often expect big friendships to last forever.
Right, right.
But a lot of them, they serve a purpose for a specific time in our lives.
Exactly.
And then it's natural for them to, I don't know, to fade or change.
Like seasons, almost.
Yeah.
You might connect deeply with someone because you're both going through a certain thing, or share a very specific interest. But once that season passes, the connection might naturally evolve,
Right. Thinking about my own life, I can totally see that. Friends who were hugely important for a while, and then things just shifted.
Yeah.
It wasn't some big dramatic fight or anything.
Right.
Life just took us on different paths.
Exactly. And as Tolle says, fighting that natural flow, it only creates more pain, more struggle.
Okay, so this leads us to Mel Robbins, right? And her let them theory. Lunar Eyes found this really helpful.
Yeah, it's a powerful concept.
So what is it at its core?
Well, on the surface, it sounds so simple.
Okay.
Just let them. Let people be who they are. Let them make their own choices.
Okay.
And if their path leads them away from you,
Yeah.
let them go.
Now, that could sound kind of passive, right?
Sure.
But Lunar Eyes makes it clear it's not about not caring.
Right.
It's not about being apathetic.
It's about respecting boundaries.
Yeah.
Both yours and theirs. It's about letting go of the need to control how someone feels what they do.
I see.
Their whole life, even.
Yeah.
It can be exhausting trying to force a connection that isn't there anymore.
So essentially accepting that you can't control other people, right?
Exactly. Even if you care about them deeply, their feelings, their priorities, their journey,
Yeah.
it's their own. And by letting go of that need to control,
Yeah.
you actually free yourself.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. That sounds, honestly, kind of relieving.
It is. It frees up space in your life.
Yeah.
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 And in your mind. Space for things that are actually present, for connections that are more reciprocal.
Have you ever felt that, like that pressure to, I don't know, keep a friendship going almost single-handedly?
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah.
The let them mindset.
Yeah.
It's a huge release from that.
So this letting go, it applies even when a friendship isn't necessarily ending, right?
Robbins talks about this idea of frame of reference.
Yeah.
It's really useful when there are disagreements or conflicts.
Oh, I remember Lunar Eyes mentioned that. It's about seeing things from the other person's point of view, right?
Exactly. Even when their view is, well, completely different from yours. Lunar Eyes suggests asking yourself questions like,
Okay.
What might they be feeling right now?
Yeah.
What experiences might have shaped how they see this?
It's not about agreeing with them, right?
Right. You don't have to compromise your own values.
Yep.
More about understanding where they're coming from, their background, their situation, even their insecurities. It can really change how you see the conflict.
It's like trying on their glasses for a bit.
Exactly. Lunarize says this can lead to, aha moments, realizations about why things went wrong. Have you found that to be true?
Oh, yeah. I think so many conflicts happen because we just misinterpret each other or we don't get where the other person is coming from.
Right. It's rarely about fundamental disagreements. It's about seeing the same situation through different lenses.
So taking that time to understand the other person's frame of reference, it can really help, even if you don't totally agree in the end.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about letting go when things aren't working, but what about building those positive connections? Lunarize had some practical tips from Robbins about that too.
Oh, yeah. Those were great. Small things.
Yeah.
Really. But powerful. Like giving genuine compliments.
Okay.
Really noticing something about someone, their outfit, maybe a piece of jewelry they're wearing.
Or even their socks, right?
Exactly.
Lunarize mentioned that.
It sounds silly, but it's about making people feel seen.
I get that. Like you're actually paying attention to them as an individual.
Exactly. It's a little boost of positive energy, right?
Yeah.
Another thing is being genuinely curious about people.
Okay, like how?
Asking them about what they're reading or what they ordered at a restaurant, their hobbies, their passions.
Oh, so just being interested in what they have to say.
Right. Because, let's be honest, most people love talking about themselves.
They do.
And it opens up those deeper conversations. You find common ground, shared experiences.
That makes sense.
And then there's the simple stuff. Smiling, saying hello.
I hadn't even thought about those.
But it makes a difference. It changes the whole energy of an interaction. You seem more approachable.
A smile really can go a long way. I know I feel better when people smile at me.
Exactly.
And the key, Lunarize says, is doing all of this without expecting anything in return.
That's crucial. It has to be genuine kindness.
Yeah.
Not some sort of transaction.
Right.
Put that positive energy out there, and you'll attract the same back. It's all about alignment,
Okay, so you put out good vibes, you attract good vibes.
Exactly.
But, okay, this is all well and good. But sometimes losing friends, especially as an adult,
Yeah.
it can be really lonely.
Oh, absolutely. And that loneliness is real. It's valid.
Yeah.
But Lunarize's point is, it doesn't have to be permanent.
Okay.
By focusing on your own energy, being open to connection,
Yeah.
taking those small steps, you open yourself up to new possibilities.
And I think it's comforting to remember the relationships that are meant to be, they often just flow naturally.
Right, without that constant struggle to keep things going.
Right, exactly. Lunarize also mentions, wanting to reconnect with a friend.
Yeah.
And I think the takeaway is it's okay to have that desire to reach out.
Yeah.
But you can't dwell on it if it doesn't happen. Sometimes the best parts of a friendship are the lessons you learn during that time, whether or not it lasts forever.
Which brings us back to Eckhart Tolle. Lunarize shares another one of his quotes. It's, some changes look negative on the surface.
Okay.
But you will soon realize that space is being created in your life for something new to emerge.
I love that. It's like letting go isn't a failure. It's making space for something else.
Exactly. When you let go of relationships that no longer serve you, you're opening up externally and internally for new experiences, new connections, even new personal growth.
So it's all connected, right? This let them mindset. It's about releasing what was so you can welcome what might be.
Precisely.
So as we wrap up, what are the big things we've talked about today?
Well, we explored how friendships are impermanent, like everything else.
Right.
That's Tolle's big idea. Then there's Mel Robbins' let them theory about approaching these shifts with acceptance, not resistance. We talked about understanding different perspectives, that frame of reference idea, and all those little things you can do to build stronger connections. And finally, the importance of acknowledging loneliness.
Yes.
But also being open to new beginnings.
That's a lot to think about.
It is.
So one last thought for you all out there. Think about the friendships that have naturally drifted in your life. What space did that create? What new opportunities or connections came from that, even if you didn't see it at the time?
Right.
It's something to consider as you navigate relationships. It's all part of the journey.
It is.
Learning, growing, changing, and connecting.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it all, right?
It is.